Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for checking out the bullet points. We're here on a very cold and ugly day in Texas. It's like 40 degrees out and drizzling, but I wanted to get out and do a review for you guys because I came across a suppressor that I think is pretty amazing. So if you haven't heard of Q before, it's not really that surprising. It's a fairly new suppressor company on the market. Q is headed up by Kevin Brittingham, who is formerly of SIG and AAC. Kind of a genius in the suppressor world. He started up Q out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Cool company, man. I mean, they've got some very innovative things. You can tell that it's not a brand new startup company that doesn't have any experience. They have made some really good strides in the suppressor world. Today we've got the Q Erector, which is a 22 caliber suppressor. The really neat thing about this is it's very configurable. You can go from its short configuration here, which is essentially your threads, your serialized part, and your end cap, all the way up to like a 10 baffle stack system, which is quite a bit longer and obviously is going to offer a lot more sound suppression. There's no sleeve on the outside of it and it's all aluminum. So the cool thing there is that it's incredibly light. I mean, stupid light. In its full configuration, all of these pieces put together, it comes in at right at 2.6 ounces. So when you're talking about putting this on the end of a 22, it's going to be extraordinarily light. I imagine it's going to swing really well. I think that you probably won't even notice that it's there. So we've got our trusty Walther P22 here. We're going to go ahead and mate these up and fire some rounds downrange. But I mean, look at that. That's incredible. 22 long rifle rated suppressor, that small. Let's run some rounds downrange and see what we think. There we go. Q Erector in small configuration. It definitely takes the crack out of the bullet exiting. It's got more of a thud than, you know, your typical breaking the sound barrier. Now I know that that's not rated for, or as, you know, quite hearing safe, but after 10 rounds, my ears aren't ringing at all. So I think that the short configuration is actually pretty decent. Does a pretty good job sound suppression. Let's try it in a longer configuration. All right, guys, we've got the Q Erector here in its full configuration. Looks kind of goofy, sticks out very far, but is incredibly light. I mean, seriously, like, it does not feel front heavy at all. It's only 2.6 ounces, and even on the super light Walther P22, it doesn't feel like I have this muzzle drop going on. Let's see how this one sounds. That is awesome. This thing is really quiet, man. I mean, I know we're running inherently subsonic rounds because we're only running through a pistol, but that is awesome. I mean, you know, obviously you're hearing a little bit more than the bolt clap, but the thud of the round hitting the sand is definitely louder than the crack of the projectile leaving the barrel. So I'm very impressed with this. This is a fun little gun. I'm gonna run some more rounds. I know that 22 LR coming out of a pistol is supposedly subsonic, but I went ahead and picked up some subsonic rounds anyway, just to see if there's a major difference. So let's run 10 of these, and then I'll load up another mag that's standard velocity and then subsonics, and we'll kind of go back and forth, see if there's any real sound suppression difference there. Oh, not a full ejection there. Let's try it again. Same thing. So that one did it. Nope. It's looking like we're having trouble with the subsonic ammo. So nothing chambered that time. So what's happening is it's getting just enough to pull the slide back to either eject the first round. A couple of them stovepiped or kind of stuck in there, so failure to eject, but not quite far enough to pick up the next round. See, there's that failure to eject right there. So it came out of breech, which is fine, but doesn't quite have that oomph to kick it back. All right, guys, I went ahead and pulled 3 baffles out of here. So we're down to a 7 configuration. And I've got the subsonic rounds loaded up. So let's see how these run and if we have the same issue. And there it is. I'm gonna bet 50 bucks that when I pull this back, there's not a round. Ha! Each of you viewers owes me 50 bucks. Go ahead and send the checks in. Gladly accept it and buy more ammo. Same thing again. So this is a bit of a problem, but it's only happening with the subsonic rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these subsonic rounds back in the case. We'll switch back over to the Blazer, which seem to be running just fine. And then we'll throw a couple more rounds downrange with both the long and kind of middle configurations. All right, now we're going to go with the shortest configuration, which is 3 baffles, technically, which is your thread, your serialized part, and your end cap. So we're going to run supersonic, then subsonic with that, and this is where I think we're going to see the biggest difference. Definitely a difference in sound suppression on that one. All right, now we're going to run supersonic, then subsonic with the medium configuration 7 baffles. We took 3 of them. A little bit bigger difference in between the 2 there. Okay, so we've got supersonic, subsonic with the long configuration. So those were kind of all 3 configurations of the Q suppressor that we played with today. I mean, again, you can run 1 through 10, well, actually 3 through 10. We did 3, 7, and 10 with both subsonic and supersonic rounds. The subsonic rounds weren't powerful enough to bring the slide all the way back on this, so I don't think it's a gun issue. But all in all, man, I mean, even on the little Walther P22 here, this is a kick-ass suppressor. I'm just very shocked at how light it is. 2.6 ounces in its longest configuration. The thing weighs like virtually nothing. So I'm very impressed with that. As far as, you know, features of it, I'd say the pros are obviously lightweight. You know, the constructability of it, the fact that you can pull out as many baffles as you want, configure it to any size you want. And the fact that it's very easy to clean. I mean, you pull the baffles apart and they're right there. You don't have to pull a sleeve off. It's very user serviceable. And, you know, with suppressors getting hot, a lot of times the threads will stick together. So it even comes with this little nifty tool here. See these little pegs go inside of these tracks, right? Clip it in place, and then you can loosen or tighten however you'd like. But I mean, the fact that it comes with this neat little nifty tool, comes with a little carrying case, like a little handbag deal for it, and the fact that you can break this down into as many, you know, pieces or configurations as you like is pretty amazing. I'd say the only downside to this is that it's only rated for 22 long rifle and below, so you're not going to be able to fire your HMR or 17 HMR, your 22 mags. I think a 5.7 would probably blow this thing up. But that's what you get for going with a completely aluminum construction and having, you know, this much weight savings. So all in all, man, hats off to Q. You guys did a really, really good job with this thing. I really like the suppressor. I like the color of it. That's kind of cool. You got kind of that, you know, sand coyote color. But very fun to play with. And I mean, even in its shortest configuration, very, very quiet. So great job, Q. Love what you guys are coming out with. Keep up the innovative good work, and we'll see you guys next time on the Bullet Points. Thank you again to Silencer Shop for loaning this out to us, and make sure you guys check out Gear You Need for all your online shopping needs. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.